Online censorship is getting out of control. Never have I been more embarrassed at the free world as I watch their politicians take away our liberty with the most crooked smile on their face. Also, it's rich hearing them say, "Do it for the kids." The government is the last group of people I want to hear that from. Lately, they'll do anything but protect the kids. So if you don't know, the Online Safety Act, which requires your ID to just browse the internet, has been passed in the United Kingdom, and what's scary is that it's coming for the United States next. Remember, this country is founded on liberty. We are proud of its freedom, yet here we are with our lawmakers also thinking of enacting these dystopian laws in the form of the Kids Online Safety Act. Don't let lawmakers fool you. It's not just protecting kids from adult content, as the United Kingdom already makes people go through the system just to access Spotify, Discord, YouTube, and even Wikipedia. And I know that there will always be that government bootlicker who's gonna have a brain dead take of, "If you've never done anything wrong, then what are all you guys scared of? Just give them your ID." That's not how this is gonna work, buddy. The United Kingdom especially has already shown that they will use this system to arrest someone over political things that they don't agree with. That is the real reason they want our ID, for a police state. It's not a matter of not doing anything wrong, it's a matter of still doing everything right, but now being told you're wrong since the government can make whatever narrative they want since they now monitor every aspect of our lives. It's a Trojan horse disguised as an anti-adult content movement that's aimed at protecting the kids. But in actuality, the government wants to monitor you and establish a social credit score. I feel anyone saying these laws aren't a big deal are people who've never realized how much they take for granted the freedom they have in their country, or have never had family who struggled with freedom because they come from countries where governments are significantly more oppressive and spy on literally everything they do and can literally imprison them or even imprison their family and send their family to prison camps over something they say online. This is all the more sad because I'm watching these Facebook moms and uneducated Karens and beta bootlickers who are so easily baited by the adult video industry is ruining the internet. It's coming after our kids. Let's let this law go through. Woo! And the government's just sitting in the corner rubbing their hands together because they're super happy that they get to monitor everyone now. First off, I've always wanted to dunk on helicopter parents and their garbage parenting style, so now's a good time to finally do so. They seem to have this unhealthy obsession of monitoring and controlling their kids as much as possible and want to censor them from the world so that they'll never lose their innocence. Think of like Ned Flanders from like The Simpsons. Here's the reality though. The government shouldn't be responsible for stepping in to make up for the shortcomings of these bad parents. I'm so sick and tired of these parents who think it's the internet's responsibility to raise their kids and protect their kids' innocence. Since when has being a good parent become so underrated? Can we get parents who actually raise their kids again instead of expecting online influencers and websites and especially the government to try? That is ridiculous. Also, your kid has to learn about the world someday. Protecting their innocence will never last forever because by definition your kid is not going to be a kid forever. That's literally how time works. Therefore, if you don't teach them about the cruelty of society, then society itself will teach them instead, and society is not nearly as patient or kind at teaching that subject. I've had plenty of peers growing up who were really sheltered, hyper-Christian, and super spoiled, and now some of them are way worse adults because they got addicted to substances or became a horrible alcoholic. They got multiple DUIs, can't get jobs, can't drive anymore. If you ever seen like those IRL streamers or break channels who try rage baiting people in public, then get shot or surprised that they get their ass beat, that's further proof that if parents don't humble their kids, then society will break them as adults. The rest of society doesn't have the patience to teach a 25-something what they should have learned at 14 in a high school hallway, which is why parents shouldn't be trying to shoulder the burden onto society to deal with their kids' corn addiction or constant swiping of mom's credit card or constantly throwing bits at their local e-girls on Twitch or heck even just wailing on gacha games because they're parasocially attached to a PNG. A responsibility of a parent is to raise and take care of their kid. That is not the internet's responsibility and especially not the government's. However, However, since the government is exploiting these helicopter Karens' insecurity of not being able to raise their own kid, the government's now taking this opportunity to collectively ruin all of our lives now by preying on the weakness of those Karens. These are the same adults who struggle to close apps on their smartphones because of how technologically illiterate they are. They have no internet literacy. They're extremely inadequate. These are the worst group of people to let vote for the system, yet they're the very first group of people to vote for this system because of how horrendous they understand the internet and technology in general and how poor their parenting behavior is. It's ironic considering some of them talk all the time about freedom and value themselves as patriots, which is why I want them to listen closely and know that the government is going to abuse this new system for bad faith takedowns. There's no distinct differentiation regarding satire, journalism, or political criticism in a lot of these censorship laws. The United Kingdom specifically even says that it will purposely take things if it thinks it's like too politically extreme, but what does that mean, right? At what point are you just using it to silence the other side? In other words, these laws can easily and quickly be abused by the very government that is meant to protect us. Instead, they can use it to silence us. So to the older folk watching this video, I want you to realize that this law, it is the death of First Amendment. It is a complete death of free speech. The United Kingdom has already shown that it loves to arrest people for stuff they say online. Look, we've all been edgy, angsty, or rebellious teenagers before, and some of you watching might still be in that phase or have yet to enter that phase, but trust me, you'll get there, and it's okay when you get there, because people change over time. Like, think of how senior year high school you thinks freshman year version of yourself is cringe. Now fast forward 4 more years, senior college you is gonna think high school senior you was cringe, and so on. People shouldn't be at risk of being arrested for being an angsty youth who said something really stupid online. It is the worst use of tax dollars and prison infrastructure to lock these teens and college-age students over online speech, because that's what this is going to end up being used for in the near future when it passes. They were accused of false communications, fake news, and so on. And again, ignoring the fact that some of these people will just genuinely always fall for conspiracies and fake news, let's remember that it's not worth sending them to jail over. That you could also be jailing the wrong person, because there is absolutely a chance that you, me, or several other people who are just going to partake in satire. Like, there are a lot of people who understand the ridiculous nature of some fake news and are fully self-aware that it's completely fake, but just want to pretend to fall for it and start crap posting about it on all corners of the internet. It's just satire, right? So imagine making like jokes, memes, or satires about something that's obviously so fake news coded just to make your friends laugh in a group chat or Discord server, but the government comes knocking on your door a few days later and boom, bust out the chat logs, now you're in the handcuffs. The fact that these laws aren't even fully passed, but arrests have already happened, just goes to show how authoritarian and disgusting the real intentions behind these laws are. The government is just waiting for a full-blown green light to just screw everyone over. Like, this is going to literally affect everyone in a negative manner. It does not matter where you fall politically, or even if you have no political values at all, this is gonna affect your life. Speaking of the kids, how about the Jeffrey situation, huh? Yeah, now the government decides it cares about kids all of a sudden. Yeah, all of a sudden at the end of the July, you guys care about kids, when throughout the entirety of that month, you know, where were you a few weeks ago regarding those papers, huh? Why is the Kids Online Safety Act so important now, huh? This is just me proving a point that the government is going to say whatever they want to get what they want when they want it from us. They do not care about kids. They've clearly shown they don't care about protecting the kids. All they've ever done lately is take, never given a damn thing back. Genuinely breaks my heart knowing that Americans used to laugh at people in China over the social credit score meme, and that wasn't even that many years ago. Yet here we are, about to pitfall into the same exact system they once ridiculed. Like, is that not like the death of liberty? Is that not the death of freedom? What's the big deal, eh? You know, here's the part of the video where I'm gonna debunk the most common counter-argument from bootlickers and undercover government agents. Here's a lukewarm take that I keep hearing repeated in the past few weeks. Why is everyone so okay with giving an ID to drink alcohol, but all of a sudden it's not okay with this? It's just an ID, guys. Just an ID. Okay. Alcohol is a physical, consumable item that can lead to horrible decisions like drunk driving and can actually negatively affect other people's lives. Want to know how many people die if someone makes edgy remarks on the internet? Basically none. So let's not pretend these are the same caliber, not even remotely close. Also, what about the ID system for Spotify? What is their excuse for that? There's no universe where you can compare listening to music on Spotify as the same as going out to a nightclub with adults grinding on each other with alcohol everywhere. Obviously, you need to present ID for that. I'm sick and tired of hearing that this isn't a big deal, and then they greenlight the government to speedrun this law through legislators, and once the law does pass, it's going to be super hard to overturn once it's enacted. But in the meantime, it's going to ruin all of our lives as we quickly regret how stupid of a decision it was to speedrun it through Congress. They aren't going to stop at our ID either, by the way. This isn't just our ID. Several lawmakers are also pushing for biometric data like face and fingerprints over the internet. Like I said, this isn't alcohol, this isn't firearms, this is the internet. Like they're gonna track our face when browsing the internet to see if we can use certain websites. That is a huge privacy violation, and I guarantee this part was included because big corporations love doing this. Like they love stealing our data and giving us targeted ads based on our browsing behavior. So the last thing I want those jerks to have is our face and fingerprints too. Also, data leaks happen all the time. I don't trust them with that data. It's 100% gonna get hacked. Also, how am I gonna use my 70 alternative accounts just to take advantage of the first time buyer deal if my singular face will be now tied to all those accounts now? And wow, all of a sudden I'm seeing why greedy corporations want them to go through with this. And yes, I shamelessly do use alternative accounts to reuse that 10 to 15% first time buyer deal when shopping. I mean, have you seen this economy lately? That's probably gonna be next video's topic. What's even sadder is imagine you gave your ID, face, fingerprint, but you still get rejected from browsing certain websites because an AI has decided you are not of age to access it. RIP to every single adult with baby faces. I guess y'all's ID won't even matter since the companies using AI apparently know you better than you do yourself. And dang, I just realized all of us Asians are gonna get cooked here. That's why Twitter loses it whenever they see a mid-20 something Asian lady and start claiming that it's not right to be attracted to her because that's not an adult, even though she's very clearly adult. Like, I'm sorry that we don't get our first wrinkle until we become 40, all right? So I guess we're all 15 years old according to the entire internet and according to these AI biometric scanners. So guys, I might not be able to log back into this YouTube account if this does pass as a law because I might have to wait 12 years until I get my first wrinkle. Sorry that I'm Asian apparently, and I don't look old.
They've just announced they're rolling out AI in the US to detect if users are actually under 18, ignoring whatever the account's stated age is, and will apply restrictions to users it suspects are teens.
Yes, YouTube and a few other websites have discussed using AI to monitor someone's browsing behavior to then estimate their age and restrict access to certain content. So just in case a kid steals their parents' ID, oh no Roblox or Pokemon for them, haha, boom, this system knows that it's still a kid watching it. This of course is so stupid because it completely ignores the fact that several grown adults do look up content like Roblox, Minecraft, Pokemon cards, and they also spend thousands of dollars on Legos, all of which are items that correlate with kids. Imagine being blocked from the internet just because you have a hobby that the internet deems too childlike. And before someone laughs or ridicules those adults for owning Legos or playing Pokemon, this can easily snowball and affect everyone. Imagine if the internet also decides, well, only kids usually like race cars and dinosaurs and monster trucks and skateboards. Therefore, based on that kind of watch history, they should also be considered minors. And boom, now you can't even watch car videos because you're getting age restricted because it thinks you're a kid.
Over the next few weeks, we'll begin to roll out machine learning to a small set of users in the US to estimate their age so that teens are treated as teens. And
like, why should a system determine that certain activities or genres are indicators of someone's age? Like, the entire gaming community is going to disappear off YouTube, basically. People who do theme park content are going to get Thanos snapped as well. Like, this is just horrendously stupid. But yeah, to all the UK and Australian viewers, I appreciate y'all having to go through the trenches and getting bombarded by 10 government drones while you were trying to boot up your VPN to even watch this video. I'm honored to have you guys risking your life to be watching, and I hope that you all can hang in there, and I pray that the United States does not follow suit in the same footsteps. I do not want a single person in the US to ever brag about freedom against China ever again if we actually end up passing this law. Because if we just straight up turn into the same country, except without the cool cyberpunk cities and functional train infrastructure, bro, I might just move back. China number one. Anyways, that's it for this video. Like if you like it, share it with your pet spider, and subscribe for more weekly situations updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Blade Angel out.